I want to make the case here that 1-star heroes and the normal Evo stones are not entirely worthless. And what I mean by that, based on collection bonuses. So this is going to be a long farm. This is going to be something that is only for mid to in-game players. And it's talking about how to maximize the efficiency of being able to level up these collection bonuses here. So if you look at any 1-star hero, acquiring them gets you 0.2 either attack, HP, or defense, depending on the hero. Then if we look here, when you fully get all 31 awakening nodes for the heroes here, you get 0.3 HP, 0.3 attack, 0.3 defense, depending on which 1-star hero you actually want to level. Most people are not going to want to do that. But once you get to late game, these collection bonuses are going to be one of the few things you can actually level up in the game. And I wanted to kind of talk about these because I think this is a massively overlooked part of the game. At least you could be putting these resources on your characters correctly, even though this is a really long farm. This is something that most people are not going to care about. Eventually you will. And eventually this can make a difference. You know, you can actually do some more damage, you can survive something you shouldn't have survived before. And so I want to show this first. I figured I did a little notepad here where all the names of the level 1 characters and then what they gain. Do they give you attack, defense, HP, stuff like that. And then we also get more benefits for when you actually 5-star them, but I don't think that's worth it. I think that's going to be something that's so crazy down the line that's not even worth mentioning. The thing that I think matters is getting any one of these characters, either just getting the character for sure, but then getting them to like 4-star, because 4-star is what you need to be able to get their awakening nodes, like all of them, and then you can max those awakening nodes to get the 0.3 attack, 0.3 HP, or 0.3 defense. Here, I'll show you one of these heroes here. So I've done this on a few of them, and also I want to make this to avoid some of those mistakes I made. So if we look at the book, or not the book, let me look at my actual heroes, 1-star heroes here. So you notice how I 5-starred a couple of these? Just throughout playing the game, I just thought it was a meme. So I thought maxing Bob would be funny because, you know, Bob's always kind of associated with things. So I just went 5-star Bob. Whereas what I could have done, because it takes so many of these resources, I could have gotten 2 more characters 4-star. For each 5-star character you see, that could have been 2 more characters that are, instead of 1-star, they're 4-star. So yes, I'm like fully like pretty progressed in this game, but I mean, this could be the difference for a few step points, maybe 1% attack on all my characters, maybe 1% defense on all my characters. You know, something like that. That's actually kind of impactful. Just because I wanted to go, just because I neglected this, this thing here. Whereas I ended up actually fully awakening him. It just takes 31 of these. And here we'll kind of go over the cost here associated with that, because I think for a lot of early to mid-game players, they'd be like, no, hell no, I'm not going to waste these awakening stones. But for someone like me, the only thing, it's either I fully max a character or bust, so I might as well do this in the meantime as I'm leveling up these characters. And then we'll talk about here in a second how to actually get these currencies, because I think people just neglect all the ways to get it because it's just so, like, you know, it's such an afterthought. You know, this is the fully, well, let's go this 3-star character. So when we talk about actually getting this currency or using this currency, if you're a 1-star character, it just takes 40 to go from 1 to 2, and then it takes another 40 to go from 2 to 3. Then it takes 8 or 8 times 40 to be able to go from 3 to 4. And 4 is the magic number here on actually being able to get all the awakening stones, or the full amount of nodes. And then as you can see, per node, it's only 24,000, 24,800 for this one. But I think it gets a little bit more expensive because I've seen some that are like 37k, depending on, you know, how progressed you are. So this awakening stone one, you notice how this one is 24,000, this one is 37,000, and then this one is 41,000. And I think it's a little bit more expensive for the last one as well. But you would have to spend, it looks like 6. This one's actually quite a bit. So you're 24, 30, and 18. And then this one's actually even more at 24, 15. And, oh, is this keeping them all into account? Yeah, it looks like it's keeping them all into account. So that's why it's going higher. It's picking up all these. So it's a decent amount of gold, awakening stones and stuff like that. But when you're at the point of the game where the only stat bonuses or ways to increase your stats are going to be through collection bonuses, whether it be in the book here for heroes or in the book for items over here, you're really not getting many options here. So that's why I think it's actually kind of interesting to do that. And then don't make the mistake I did, whereas I 5-starred the character instead of, because I didn't think it mattered. Who cares? I was just gonna max them because I thought it was completely worthless currency, but it's not. I think this currency is actually pretty useful, especially if you spread it out between a lot of 1-star characters. You're going to get a little bit of stat boosts. And then ways to get this currency is they have multiple ways of buying in here. This version right here where it's 5 for 4, this actually costs gems. I actually bought it. It was like 25 gems per. I think it's hard for me to recommend that to almost anyone, but you could do that. I think the one that's actually worth it is these points here. What are they actually called? So soul points or SP. These gems here, hero SP. This stuff, if it's in the shop for that, I would totally buy it. If you haven't maxed it, or if you're not close to maxing all the things in here, probably not worth buying. But that's another way to acquire this. The only other way to really get it is going to be through the typical Evo stones, but it's very rare to actually pull them. You don't really pull that many. You pull, weirdly, a lot more unique Evo stones than you ever will of just the generic 1-star pieces. So that's why it's such a rare currency. So like, for example, if I do this, let's just sweep it. Like, I didn't even get one here, but got 2 there. It would take actually a decent amount of rolls. I want to say it was like, I don't know, it's like 10% or 5% of the time it actually drops. So you barely actually pull it when it comes to just farming it normally if you're farming other characters. So you're probably going to get a decent amount there. Because obviously there's going to be a lot of characters you want to farm. I think the best way to get it, weirdly enough, is going to be through this shop here. This is going to be the most consistent way. So that's why I've been kind of stacking this. Normally what I would do is if I had this much, I would just buy this vending machine, but I don't think it's worth it. I like to just have a pooled amount of this resource here for the stuff in the shop. And then this stuff is actually pretty expensive, especially like dreamstones and especially high grade ones, but all dreamstones are very expensive. And then the normal hero evolution stones are very expensive as well. Now that I'm actually buying them, I used to completely ignore them and I would never buy them, but I think it's actually kind of worth it now. Over the long haul, we'll be able to have them all finished. And so looking at this list here that I got, I feel like the ones to target, probably something realistic, is just to get all the attack ones. Just an extra 1.5% attack for everyone. There's a ton of HP ones, weirdly enough, and I think HP is a little bit more value than defense because so many game modes in this game triple your or 8 times your HP. Like if you look at Coliseum, if you look at Arena, those game modes really boost up your stats there. So if we go to Coliseum, statistics modifications in Coliseum, statistics heroes get modified with balance. The head of a PvP HP increases to 12 times. The other party members HP increases 6 times. So having so much more HP is actually kind of nice because that is a more important stat in my opinion because it actually gets modified based on the rules of the game. And then we look at, unless you're talking about Ogba or something like that. And then we got multiplayer for Arena. Statistic modifications here in Arena. This is statistics of heroes each gets modified with balance. Heroes HP is tripled and then damage reduction not applied. So then that's another example of HP getting modified, not defense. So having so much more, weirdly enough, in HP, you can really focus on that if you wanted to. So I would say attack or the HP is the way to go when it comes to focusing on this. I understand that this is going to be very, this is very few people are actually going to take advantage of this, but it is something nice to know so you don't waste this currency like I did and 5-starred your Bob. So I'm going to end the video here, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this. I think it's kind of funny that 1-star heroes are actually not completely trash. So there's actually a use for them. And with that, guys, I am out. Peace.